Before a show can be released, there is usually a trailer, and before the trailer, there is usually a cast reveal. That's what we are waiting for now. When the cast for a highly anticipated film or television program is released, the news travels across the internet like wildfire. Everyone wants to know if their favorite actor is in it, and also what new faces they're going to need to know. The buzz is why acting reveals are such a big deal. They are the first major burst of news after the initial announcement. One could argue, of course it's a big deal, it means they can finally make the show. But you also can't make a show without writers, and you don't see a lot of shows openly advertising their writing talent, because the average layperson does not know who TV writers are, and I don't say this as a major criticism, it's just the truth. Aside from dorks like me, no one's heart thumps with excitement when they hear what writers are going to be on a show. Actors are the face of a show in a way they aren't in animation. In animation, the voice actor provides a part of the character, the other part being provided by the animation itself. In live action, the actor is the character. They convey as much with their facial movements as they do with their line readings. So yes, when the cast of the new Netflix Avatar: The Last Airbender series is released, it will set off an earthquake big enough to make my California friends jittery. There are countless videos on YouTube of fans announcing their dream casts for the show. There won't be a video like that on this channel because I have never liked that kind of thing, but I completely understand the temptation. These actors are going to be playing characters we adore, and unless the show is cancelled, they're going to be playing these characters for years on end. It's important that the casting be done properly. But none of this deals with the central question of this video: when will the casting be released? Let's dive into that, shall we? This is Avatar Explained. When will we know the cast? My first answer is that we won't know soon. On Brian Konietzko's Tumblr, he announced that there will be an open casting call before the end of the year, which sounds about right. If the show is going to be released in 2020 or even in early 2021, all the important roles should be cast by the end of the year. Netflix's The Witcher provides a useful comparison here, as it has in multiple videos I've made on the new live-action Avatar series. That show, which is set to premiere sometime in fall 2019, formally cast Henry Cavill in the lead role in September 2018, and all the other announcements of who would be acting in the show were released a month later in October 2018. Scripts can be written before the actors are announced, and you can work on some pre-production elements, but you obviously can't film anything until you have people to film, and unless you have footage, you can't edit, you can't do post-production. I know it frustrates some of you that the process is taking so long, but again, I must urge patience. There is no sign that anything is happening that would not happen on a typical big-budget production. It's important that the show gets its casting right. Casting is hard. There is a reason certain casting directors are as acclaimed as they are. Selecting a few talented actors from a pool of hopeful dreamers is a harrowing and often brutal process. But it is important, especially in a show like this, where most of the parts will be played by kids and teenagers. Some parts will likely be offered to certain famous or semi-famous actors and actresses, but for most of the parts, you will have many potential Tophs and Kataras and Aangs and Sokkas fighting for these elusive positions. It's hard casting kids. They are likely to not have large acting resumes, and it is hard to tell which ones will grow up to be great actors and which ones will never develop their acting talents and will instead abandon acting entirely when they get older. There is luck involved. I won't say there isn't, but an extensive casting process and a skilled casting director can hedge the odds in the show's favor. And the show especially needs those increased odds because of its commitment to ethnically accurate casting. I want to make clear that I support this decision. Avatar is an explicitly Asian-inspired fantasy world. A live-action adaptation of it should be true to that fact. But that means restricting the casting pool, which is not a problem when casting adult actors, but is more of a problem when casting child actors, considering the pool of child actors talented enough to convey the heavy emotions the story of Avatar depends upon is already quite limited. Also, we must ask ourselves what exactly we mean by ethnically accurate. Does it mean all the characters should look like they do in the show? Does it mean casting all actors who are either Asian or of Asian descent? Does it mean casting, say, Japanese actors or actors of Japanese descent to play Fire Nation characters, considering the Fire Nation is based heavily on Japan? These are complicated questions, and there are no easy answers, which makes it more important that the show has a great casting director who does a thorough casting job. If that means the casting takes longer, so be it. As the old saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, meaning that it is better to stop bad things from happening, like casting a kid who can't act, or casting a kid who can act but doesn't fit the part, as an important character like Aang or Katara, from happening, then waiting until after it happens and then having to try and correct it. But still, it would be nice to see some progress, so I'll give you some good news. I predict that there will be a casting call within the next few months. If they're going to announce the cast before the end of the year, which I think they need to do if they want to get the show made by 2020, then they will have to start casting relatively soon. It will be a very exciting time for our not-so-little fandom. There will be a multitude of reports coming out concerning who has been cast. Some of them will be accurate, most of them probably won't be. Don't spread rumors without verifying their source. And please, 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 even if you do not like who has been cast, do not harass the actors. Not if they're adults, and especially not if they're kids. You can be critical without being a vile git. It's really not that hard. I do it all the time. But nonetheless, I understand why emotions are running so high. The future of our franchise will be entrusted to these actors, even though some of the younger ones will likely not have even been born when the original show aired. Of course, actors can and probably will be replaced from the time casting is announced to the time the show finally airs for a variety of reasons. But for the most part, we'll have to get to know these actors, who they are, where they've been, and where they are going. If you want me to select one exact date when I think the cast is going to be announced, I think November 2019 sounds appropriate. It's far enough away from the original announcement and the start of development on the Netflix series to give Mike and Brian plenty of time to craft a plan for the new series. But it is not so far away from that initial announcement that one would think the show has faced major complications. That will be 14 months from the original announcement. Fans will be thirsting for news by then. One could argue they're at that point already, but it will be much worse by then. I will say that November 2019 is a slightly optimistic prediction, but it is not pure lunacy. It is possible that the cast will be announced even earlier than that, but since the casting call has not even occurred yet, the best thing to do is just to wait and listen. To all of you who are planning to audition for the new show and are somehow watching this video, I wish you the best of luck. And so does every real Avatar fan I know. It is going to be a scary experience, but even if you do not get the part you want, it will be rewarding. And if you do get the part you want, it will be utterly life-changing. I hope you get the chance to shine soon. Prepare, practice, and make sure to breathe. As for the rest of us, we'll be on the sidelines, waiting with bated breath, hoping that we will get to know who will be in this adaptation of our beloved Avatar by the end of the year. After that, it will still be a long wait before the show comes out, but it will not be nearly as painful of a wait. We'll have something to work with. We'll have something substantial. We won't have to rely almost entirely on guesswork. That's something to celebrate. For now, just rewatch the original show and The Legend of Korra. Read the comics. They're really good, and they deal with a lot of complicated political issues in a nuanced way. Read the Rise of Kyoshi YA novel. I haven't read it, but I've heard it's really good. I know waiting's hard, but I'd like to once more say that it will be worthwhile. So thank you all for watching. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Donate to my Patreon if you can and you want to see more content like this. Keep watching Avatar, it is a fantastic show. And tune in soon for the next Avatar Explained video. I swear it will be coming soon. Thank y'all again. Adios, comrades.